DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and GGBet.
The delicious history of Montreal smoked meat, developed by Jewish delis in Montreal and influenced by New York City's pastrami. This succulent sandwich is traditionally made by salting and curing beef brisket with spices. And I, for one, came all this way to Montreal not just for the DreamHack Open, but for also a good reason to get my meat smoked. And with that, of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsors making it just that. And those sponsors would be Astro, Corsair, Monster Energy, and as always, Hacks GG, making it very possible. Now, let's go ahead and flip this around a little bit. Maybe look at you guys over here to my left, my esteemed analyst colleagues, and Tommy and Dust. Guys, not a whole lot to say about the last match, but perhaps we can pick up where we left off in looking at this KInguin versus Red Reserve banger that we're sure to have.
Yeah, I mean, I think we finally got a couple of teams here ready to play after some wait. So hopefully it'll be a good one. Obviously, Jens is gonna be waiting for the winner of this, but we'll see who can take it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be a pretty weird match just because, you know, obviously Red Reserve are coming into this event without their normal in-game leader, Hampus, who is also one of their more consistent players in the offline environment. So that's going to be a big miss for them. I think Freddie B will be taking over calling for the tournament, which he did call for this team before Hampus showed up, so at least it's not as bad as like throwing a random person into the mix to call. At least he has some experience doing it. But I don't know, Red Reserve's like this really weird team to me where they looked really good early this year, like into April and May when they were like taking top 4 at DreamHack Tour. They won that Key Invitational event, but they were kind of played by the fact that Brolin was too young to play in some of the different leagues they were in. They managed to take some mass off some pretty good teams in ECS as well in the regular season, despite not like getting close to making playoffs or anything, but at least beating some elite teams here and there on best of ones. But lately things have really cooled off for this team, and you're hoping that an event like this can be how they turn things around, but it's going to be hard when you're missing one of your key players.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know, maybe a little biased here, but my brother did use the coaches team for quite a while.
Okay.
He helped them become quite a bit better over the almost a year, I think, that he ended up coaching them. He's obviously now with Heroic, one of the other teams competing here, so I think that, you know, sort of compounds the whole, you know, losing the in-game leader, but also losing the coach at the same time. So I think we might see them playing, you know, fairly differently, actually, from how they have previously.
Yeah, and it's poised to be an interesting battle, and I really kind of have to look at it this way. My own personal 3 reasons why brought to you by Hacks GG. This is why things are about to get a little dicey. The first reason would be accountability. First and foremost, I don't know how many tournaments I attended with Team Cloud9, and never once was it an issue of putting our gear in our checked luggage. That makes for an awkward situation all the way around. That might even add up to our next point here, which would be stressed KInguin. That's right, they don't have their gear. They decided, for what it's worth, 4 out of 5 players, from what I understand, put their gear in their checked baggage. A huge error, a blunder, some might say. And dare I say that the one that didn't put it in his checked baggage would be the one I expect not to. That would be Taz. Now, moving forward, let's take a look at the last point, the T factor, the tilt factor. It's going to be an awkward one here if you're here without your gear. It's almost reminiscent of if you show up to the workplace wearing the wrong uniform. It's going to be an awkward one, and I surely think that the Red Reserve will not have to be as reserved to take this one away. Of course, brought to you by Hacks GG.
Nice.
Just
How did it feel to do the 3 reasons?
Just kind of fell out of my mouth. I don't know.
Yeah.
You did really well. I mean, we might outsource that to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's
going forward.
multiple people talking to me at one time. So say that again?
We might outsource that job to you going forward.
Sick.
You did very well.
Thank you. You know, once a year, maybe twice. I think I've done it twice this year, so maybe never again.
Practice does make perfect.
It does. Indeed it does. And what would help is if you practiced on your own gear, wherein which I was not embellishing on the fact that one team has neglected to bring the appropriate gear in the manner in which you would normally be expected. Tommy, how many times have you gone to a tournament and packed your gear in your checked luggage?
I have gone to I don't know, like 100 tournaments when I played abroad that I had to fly to. I think like I never had my gear in my suit. Actually, that's partial lie, because I would pack my like keyboard in the suitcase. I don't care about my keyboard, but like I would have not one but two mice in my backpack, because I can't go to a tournament and potentially not have my gear. But it's you know, a lesson that today still not everyone has learned.
Squeaky bump time, some might say. Let's take a look at the vetoes, because this is a best of one, and it's going to be very important to see where this one lands. Even though Red Reserve are going to have a little bit of an advantage here given the gear situation, still could go either way given the best of one environment.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams would like to play overpass, so I feel like that's the direction that it probably should go. If both teams are just wanting to play like their comfort pick, unless they respect their opponent, they want to get rid of a map that they know their opponent's very good on. But I would imagine that that's kind of the direction we're going. You can always think that Mirage is an option as well. So I think it's going to be one of those two maps.
Okay, well, Mirage is out, and what do you got for us, Tommy?
So not overpass. That was the last ban from KInguin, actually,
train.
surprisingly enough. So we're going to go to train. Wow, okay.
And it could be a train ran for all intents and purposes.
Could be a train wreck.
It could be a train wreck. Could be a whole bunch of training going on around here. Perhaps the little bit of warm-up time that KInguin's going to have going into this one with the parameters they have, it's going to spell a little bit of trouble for them, I do believe. But let's go ahead and perhaps maybe take a look at this team on stage I'm talking about. I'm talking about KInguin not bringing their gear. Perhaps we take a look at them over on the stage right now as they get sat in. And I really think I've driven this one home, so I don't know that I can necessarily...
Wish there was someone who could like count how many times you said the word gear, like throughout this death segment.
Well, it's
pretty high.
They're on the gear, boys.
Yeah.
Either way, yes, they are getting locked in. KInguin versus the Red Reserve in a best of one over on Train. Tommy, say just about anything you want at this point.
Anything I want to say.
Yeah.
There's a nice steakhouse in downtown Montreal. I went there last night. Had a 20-ounce bone-in ribeye. Started the day off on the right, or the trip actually on the right foot. Hopefully, we get done at an early enough time today. Go back there.
Just do it all over again.
Yeah,
Maybe get peppercorn sauce.
Exactly.
Like that place isn't a joke. I've been to the Keg before. It is solid. It is not bad at all.
It's solid. I also
getting your meat smoked. But
wait, look at that picture. That looks a lot like Bialy.
It really does. This guy's sitting relatively close to his monitor. I think he's inside the game.
And here we go. Taz, this guy was playing before I started playing at the top level, and he's playing years after I stopped playing at the top level.
Yeah.
Or stopped playing altogether, actually, but...
There's also that. We can talk about the old guys
He's
club.
been around.
Yeah.
He should be an honorary member.
Yeah, I think there's a grandpa division to you guys, so there's that upper echelon of elderly gentlemen over there representing the old guys club. Dust, how about we tune this one back into the TV station we're supposed to be on, and you tell me a little bit about KInguin.
Yeah, I mean, I think KInguin's like a fun team because they're also a team kind of like AGO. There's like no real clear star player. Like, I feel like they're really well-rounded in how many different people can contribute on this team in a fragging perspective. I would say like Mouse and Manise are probably the most consistent, but Rollin can sometimes be the flashiest one. Like, I feel like when he has a good game, that's when you know things are going to go well for KInguin because he seems to be the one that can put up the biggest numbers, but he just isn't as consistent as some of his teammates. Also, one of the weird things about that consistency is that the op passes around a lot on this team, much more so than other teams. So it'll be curious to see, you know, what direction they go with. Obviously, being able to have multiple operators is going to be great on the CT side of Train, but on their T side, trying to figure out who's going to take it can sometimes be spawn-based. So it can kind of make things a little bit weird to follow, depending on who's going to be having the big green. But, yeah, a team that's usually always well-prepared, and I think Taz has brought a lot of wealth of knowledge to this team, and I think it's really helped them out a lot.
Nice. Now, what about Red Reserve, Dust? Don't stop on us now.
Well, looking at this guy, Twist is a monster. Like, this is probably one of the best players at this tournament, period. Like, I feel like he's definitely a guy who, if he desired to do so, could have definitely multiple times stepped up to a bigger name team, but he's always decided to remain kind of playing with these guys. But definitely a really fun, flashy, mobile opper, very consistent player, probably the most consistent player on this team. So that's definitely going to be someone to look out for. And Rusty's the guy that's actually going to be standing in. You probably haven't seen him around too much. He actually played a little bit with the old Red Reserve lineup that had like the twins on it, like Freddy, Frog, and Relaxa. So he has some experience with some of these guys from playing with them on previous teams. But obviously the stand-in obviously going to make things a lot more difficult. And it's going to be up to Freddie B now to lead this team.
Disco Duplin. I actually think he's a better player than Twist, to be honest.
Really?
I think he's a better player than Twist. The problem with Twist, I think, is he's had multiple chances. It's been reported over and over again that NIP asked him to join. Fnatic thought about picking him up. And he's just never gone. He's just always kind of stuck around, wanted to play with Pronax, and then Pronax left, couldn't play because of his wrist thing anymore. And, like, it just seems like Disco Duplin actually stepped up when he played for Fnatic. I think he was the most consistent player. Also, when my brother was coaching the team, he said that he liked Disco Duplin by far the most. They also impressed with Brolin. But Disco Duplin in particular is that always had a good attitude, always worked hard, and usually played well.
Usually played well, just like you can usually vote in between these maps. Hit up !King or !Red for who you think will be walking away with this matchup. That's right, I'm talking to you, Twitch chat. I'm talking to you there where you have me alt-tab and you can only hear my voice. I'm talking to you right now. Get activated, get animated inside of this Twitch chat. Now, if you guys were in Twitch chat, I suppose I could ask you what you would think in terms of a prediction. Is that fair to say?
I'm going to go with Red Reserve, actually. Only partially because KInguin players didn't pack their gear. And and then also, you know, like, I actually do like, still like the team. I'm not sure how the structure is going to be, but I think Twist and Doplin could potentially, you know, have enough skill to bring this one home.
Okay, next victim would be Dust Moret.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was going to pick KInguin coming into this, but now that I've learned about this whole gear situation, now I'm afraid that some of these guys aren't going to perform up to the level that I would expect them to. And now I kind of have to go with Red Reserve just off of that, because I feel like as long as they can maintain some of the presence that they've, you know, had with their in-game leader Hampus, that they usually are very deep on this map as far as like how many different tactics they can go to and like how comfortable they are playing it. So as long as they can just retain some of that and get good form out of their typical players, I think that they should be able to edge this one out given the frustrating situation KInguin has put themselves in.
Yep, KInguin really have goofed this one up. So I'm going to have to side with the Red Reserve as well. It only makes sense given the parameters that they have coming into this matchup, where in which you don't have your gear, you don't have the home feel anymore. You've really thrown that out the window. Specifically on LAN, it isn't a great or an easy task to accomplish, but not having your gear will certainly not help that. Another thing that won't help you is if you don't have the Strafe Esports app, head over to Google Play or Apple iOS Store and grab that bad boy right now. I know some of you are at work and you don't really get the opportunity to listen to the broadcast, so this is an excellent way for you to check in on the action while you're there working hard hours, slaving away.
Yep.
Either way, I think we check in with Twitch chat because they are also some people that are sitting home idly by.
Oh, okay.
And
wow.
I don't know, is that sort of playing into the favorites here, or what are we looking at?
That's really odd. It's also worth noting that like Red Reserve has beaten KInguin head-to-head almost every time they've played against each other, like including, I feel like I remember it right, that Red Reserve is the one who knocked KInguin out of the European Minor, if I'm not mistaken, in like a 2-0 series or something like that, and has beat them online several times. So I feel like Red Reserve has like a knack for being able to figure this team out. And despite the sand situation, I think they should have been more of a favorite than that.
But to be fair, KInguin's line on Twitch chat was King, so
yeah.
I always do think just
what
like
if a team's name was like Drop?
Whatever they put in there
explode?
is going to have a huge impact on who wins.
Of course. I mean, you could use something like !Golden Kappa check or Golden Kappa, and you never know what you're going to get. I wouldn't advise you writing that because you'll probably get banned by one of the bots in the channel. But if you do, I didn't send you and I didn't ask you to do that. One thing we will send it to is the commentators and ask them their predictions on this matchup. They are sitting there in that little box right there. My bad.
Yep.
Guys, who do you got?
I think KInguin are going to take this because while 4 of them don't have it, Taz is on the gear, boys. And Risk, how about you?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like KInguin have been doing way better than Red Reserve online lately. And yes, online results aren't everything, but it seems like they're in better form. The problem is how much will this gear situation affect them? Because if this was a 50-50 battle, and the gear percentages are the last ones tipping it over, that would be sad.
That would be sad. So yeah, I mean, wait, you guys all went Red Reserve, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So we got the casting desk versus the analyst.
It's not really about what we picked versus you picked. It's about you getting us into this game and delivering it to us hard, thick, and fast.
I could do that. It's like a milkshake almost.
Yes.
That's a good enough metaphor for now. How you feeling, Risk? The gear situation really does put a dampener on this game.
Yeah, there's no way around it. Of course, it sucks for the players, but it's their responsibility. There's no real way around it. So now they have to play at a slightly disadvantageous position. But to be honest, I feel like the the level of KInguin is so good that they should be able to still come out on top of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one is going to be a close game. The gear situation really is just like, wild card. Not really sure how that's going to affect things. You can't imagine it's going to be good, but it's just how bad will it be, right? But I mean, still, I think coming into this, it was already quite a 50-50 game. I'm excited, though, to see KInguin play. I'll be honest, I haven't watched that much of them ever since Taz joined the roster. But I've been excited to see him back on a stage for a while now.
To be honest, I feel like they're doing fairly well. They made it to the grand final of the SOTAC tournament over in Hong Kong or something like that. Of course, lost in that final to MIBR, who went undefeated that event. But still, like, they've been trending upwards. And since they added Taz a while ago, they have only been getting better. So I feel like this could be a potential tournament where they could do well. But then they lost their gear, so maybe not. We're going to find out. Going to wait and see. Red Reserve, of course, also very talented. Brawlan is one of the players that I feel like he has so much pressure on him every single event. And I haven't really had an event where I'm like, okay, yeah, finally, he's mastered it. He's done it.
Right, so here's the thing that we couldn't figure out. So for you to lose all your stuff, you would assume that that would mean that they all put it in the same suitcase, right? Because there's no way that, like, just by chance, like these
four of those suitcases.
Yeah,
just got
either
lost.
that, like, or someone knew that they were on this flight and were like, I'd really like Red Reserve.
But it could be that the whole flight. I've had that happen to me before. That the whole flight, every single piece of like checked-in luggage, doesn't get on the plane.
How does that happen?
Airlines, man.
How do you leave? That's like taking off with only the luggage, then being like,
yeah.
There's no one on board.
Well, I got that message.
There's two things you're meant to get.
I was sitting in the plane, like ready to take off, and I hear over the PA system, we can't load the luggage, so we're gonna leave, and then we're gonna send the luggage. Have a nice day. Okay.
I mean, okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't know how you deal with that. I've never manned a plane before, Risk. Have you?
I have.
In your many years on this earth, have you ever
No, I have never
on
manned a plane. I make really good paper planes. That's all I have to say about that. But I haven't flown a real one, no.
Yeah, that's fine. A lot of stuff in esports is just on paper.
Exactly.
And, much like your pilot's license.
Yes, exactly.
Still, hopefully not too much longer to we get into this one. Red Reserve versus KInguin. Map going to be Train once again. For all you Train fans out there, you're going to be relishing in the opportunity to see a bit more of that.
This is a good day. I love some Train.
Yeah. I mean, oh. I mean, here's the thing. KInguin probably be feeling pretty good that it's Train and not plane, because I don't even know.
Back in the day, there was a Counter-Strike map called 747, which was a hostage rescue map. That one would have fit in perfectly for the joke there.
Oh, if only Risk. Maybe.
Yeah, but
maybe
I don't think you were born when people.
No, I don't think I was. The other thing is, my other reason picking KInguin, Taz very courageously saved everyone from Spider in the lobby today.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was traumatic. So he's an all-round gentleman.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
That is true.
He remembered his stuff. He is the most senior guy on that team,
yeah.
And he saved everyone from the wrath of some 8-legged creature this morning.
All around a great guy.
Yeah.
You can't you just gotta love him.
You physically have to.
Yes.
So Risk, you love Taz. How do you feel about the other four though? What's going on there?
The other four, really good players as well. As they mentioned on the desk, I feel like Rallen, when he steps up, can be one of the really great players, one of the flashy players. So it's going to be, of course, Taz, my favorite, but then I'm going to look to Rallen as well.
Yeah, well, much like how KInguin didn't bring their gear, we've quickly lost something as well to the sands of time, I've heard. We have a couple of tech issues we're going to be fixing, and then we'll be back with game number 3 after the break.
Still breathing, hooked on
Well, it's all hands on deck as we're here for map number 3. It's going to be KInguin versus Red Reserve. A little bit of a delay getting into it, but we're finally ready. Risk. It's all about to happen on our screens. We just had the knife round and stuff unfold, I believe you said to me, or something along those lines.
Yeah, they're definitely getting the settings sorted, and that's all done now. So I think we're not many minutes away from getting this one started.
There you go. That's perfect. That's what you want to hear. Risk. I think we're about to head into this one. KInguin versus Red Reserve. And what are your thoughts and feelings as we prepare?
I just want to get going, man. Like,
just raring to go.
Yeah, that's how it is. Just really keen Counter-Strike fan, you know? Like, I just want to see some games.
No, that sounds perfect to me. I'm excited for this Red Reserve roster, though. You know, we spoke a lot about KInguin. For me, I've always been a big fan of Brolin. I think it's kind of fantastic. It's like a bit of a, I don't know, like a Cinderella story in the sense of it's great. I guess he was one of the guys originally who came from that Gamers show, I think.
Yeah, the first season.
Yeah, the first season of that. And then he went on to play in, I want to say like Fnatic Academy or something like that, or he was in one of these teams, like one of these academy teams. Regardless, doesn't matter. Great story. He's you know, a young guy up and coming. Was on the first season of that Gamers show where they tried to find up and coming esports stars, and maybe they did find one in Brolin because he looks fantastic. But we're about to head into this KInguin versus Red Reserve, and KInguin over on the T side. Let's see as they look to try and hit up this B bomb site. Red Reserve. 3 players here off the bat. An interesting decision to make, and one that they might reap the rewards of almost immediately.
See Brolin on upper, Freddy B on the site, and then the third player ready to go if it's going to be a B execute, which it looks like right now. Smoke to lower, lands there, actually goes all the way into connector, and then the flash comes in. Perfect timing. And Freddy B now has to step up.
Freddy B certainly is stepping up right now. More players coming his way, but he's bought so much time, and time for Brolin to slip on in along with Twist and find all the kills necessary. Red Reserve moving on to the first in the pistol, you can see.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate. They actually had a T player coming in to clear the spoils or barrels position down towards the side where Freddy B was hiding. But he decided not to check that angle and go even more on the aggressive. And that kind of sold 2 frags basically for free to Freddy B. So that's unfortunate. I think usually KInguin will check that position straight up, but made the decision not to go for it here, and that kind of ruined the round for them. Now they're going to be on Deagles, C-sets, P250s, 2 flashbangs and a smoke. And they're going to go and try the same play, but without the Molotov. So smoke down lower, flash out, and then just see if they can overpower Freddy.
Yeah, Freddy B does lie in wait alone. Right now, there's a player over in connector for that faster rotation, but all the pressure is going to fall onto this man right here. UMP up close, able to find the first, and they don't go barreling through on the back of it. Even going to go as far as to tag down Manice through that smoke. And here's Taz. Ooh, trying to take these fights on his own. Maybe no Iron Team, but there is 2 in KInguin.
That's true. There's also you in KInguin.
Wow, we've really done this. What else? You know, there's the word king.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what these guys want to become. But then again, what's a king to a god, I think is the expression. Something along those lines. I don't know.
That's what Kanye West said.
Yeah. Kanye West, what a guy. Here we go, pushing on in towards the B-bomb site, and Twist. Not able to find him on the cross. Figured that would have been the bomb plant denied, but no. KInguin managed to get that bomb down, and now in with a chance. Reed's going to manage 1. Twist has answers back as best he can. It's Rusty, who now has to show his mettle. Taz, 1 down to 3, and Twist up the ladder, going to find him.
They got the bomb plant though, so economy for the first buy round will be on point. Everyone will have exactly what money they need to get full utility, and might even have the potential of a T-side AWP. Nicely done by them. Here comes what potentially could be a one-sided round, as KInguin will have to save most of their cash going into the next one. Let's see what they choose to do. As we're getting ready into round number 3, and it will be indeed the almost full eco. 1 Desert Eagle on mouse, 1 flashbang, few pistols, no armor whatsoever, everyone above 2.2k. And Red Reserve on the other side of things, 2 FAMASas and a Scout alongside the 2 M4, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem here for the Swedes.
Yeah, well, still yet to really get much in the way of any information. Freddie B once again getting spotted out over here towards the B bomb site. But for KInguin, it's all a ruse. That bomb plant in the previous round has meant they have a little bit more here than they would usually. You can see there's pistols across the board. Deagle up as well. Flash for Manise. He's going to look to try and help out the rest of the team, get them into this bomb site. It's Twist. Kind of aggressive in the meantime down here toward Ivy. Almost gets caught, and he is going to get tagged out at 20 HP. 45 seconds left for KInguin, and Manise leading this charge on in. He's been allowed to get past Brolin. Not entirely sure how he gets so deep, but Disco Doppelin very quickly turning this round back in favor of Red Reserve. It is just going to be Maz left alive, and he's 1v5, Deeg in hand, so don't really fancy his odds here. Red Reserve looking like they've breezed on forward to a third and kept it clean.
Very clean. Very nicely done by them, building some economy, saving the weapons. Everything looking good so far, but here comes the buy from KInguin, and this is where things might get a little dicey for the Swedes. Usually very calm under pressure, but let's see what kind of pressure that KInguin can put on them now. Up on Manise, utility and AKs on everyone else.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get exciting. Manise boosted on up with the AWP. Can't spot anything just yet. There is rather still that scout out on Twist. So that's something to keep an eye on. See if that can go blow for blow with Manise. See those odds on your screen as well. Do paint this at being a relatively tight game, but people see Red Reserve as being the favorites.
Molotov lined out for outside, just to get out of Pop Dog or potentially remove the player around Pop Dog. Will get extinguished instantly. And now KInguin moving their way onto this B bomb site. Twist with the AWP here. Freddie B close range towards lower. Has the Molotov, has the smoke as well. So lots of utility for Red Reserve to kind of keep these terrorists out, which will put the big task with KInguin is just opening, finding the first duel and getting that frag. And it looks like they're committing now. The bomb is rotating in. Manise on the AWP.
Twist watching from afar. Freddie B here to help him out. And Freddie B has spotted the first couple of players down that ramp, but he's going to successfully pick up the first kill. Not traded, and still causing problems here down towards the ramp. Finally, Reitz is there to go ahead and put him to bed. So now we head to a 3-on-3. Reitz, the gift that keeps on giving. Finally going to get shut down by Twist. He's very quick on that scout, leaving all the pressure now on to Manise. And he's got so much to do. Players either side, that scout doing damage, and there's Twist to finish things off. Defuse will come on in. Red Reserve going to be soldiering forward onto a fourth round.
Yeah, really like how they play that 2v1. So they keep one backline with the flashbang ready to take the duel. He throws a flashbang and tries to peek left while his teammate goes right, so that even if the last remaining T player finds one duel, there's going to be a refrag a second later, so you'll have no time to readjust. Just basically trying to get a 100% chance of winning that 2v1 and not making any mistakes. It's all textbook, all very nicely done by Red Reserve. In general, they're normally looking pretty good on train. Got a 63.3% win rate on this map. God, of course, like every team has some defeats, but it's against very good train teams, for example, like Big. So KInguin now, bit in trouble, will take a pause, as we do see Taz and the coach communicating here.
Yeah, you even kind of see that, you know, a bit, you imagine what the dynamic is kind of like with Taz and the coach both working together to come up with a plan. I mean, you know, you can't really take advantage of the fact that this guy has so much experience, right? So they will be having a talk early on.
Smokes outside. Leaving only one flashbang and one Molotov for the T side now. Every single smoke they have has been deployed. It looks like they want to go for the inside push.
B is here though, and he's been pretty good at holding down this B bomb site. They have not been able to get by him, and this time Twist, he's upgraded from that scout. He's on the AWP, and he's laying it down the pain inside of B. This round has ground to a halt, and it is just going to be Ralin and Manise left alive. Manise falls, and sadly, now it falls to my nephew. It's Ralin. Gonna pick things up. Rusty falls. The damage done on a twist, but not gonna happen just yet. 1v4. The bomb down inside of that B-bomb site. So much work to do for Ralin. Gonna turn his attention back round, and there is a man here. That's Disco Doppelin. He wins the fight, and that will be the round going the way of Red Reserve.
Yeah, 5-0. They got momentum, they got money, they got everything going for them right now, these Swedes. And so far, we haven't really seen anything extraordinary out of them. Like, Twist hasn't been hitting, like, insane shots. Disco Doppelin haven't been stepping up, getting, like, clean clutches. Brawlan's frags haven't gone out of control. They're just playing very good standard Counter-Strike. And KInguin, they can't really answer back so far. They're going to try and go for a quick play outside. Not a bad decision, but with these weapons, it's going to be incredibly hard.
They've been able to find Twist at the very least. Disco Doppelin, quick trade back, and he's going to go ahead and do all that and more. Players either side. And I mean, Red Reserve, they want to try and move on to a 6th round. Just been utter domination thus far. Oh. There's a free kill for Manise, and that's now an M4 gained as well. That bomb still dropped out in the open. It's going to be something to keep your eye on. And that's going to be the thing that causes them so many problems right now. Red Reserve have just gotten into position to keep an eye on this avenue of the map. Reitz has been allowed to come by. Does finally get the kill. Tagged him there just through the buffer, and there's Disco Doppelin on that flank round. That would really put the re back in Reitz. If I was him, I would be not feeling too great after that one, but still, going to be another round here for Red Reserve.
Yeah, one thing to note as well about KInguin on this map is that they have normally a pretty easy time against oppositions below their level, but any time they get against a really good team, for example, like MRBR or Sprout in the European qualifier, they have a tough time against them. So KInguin, like, beating the teams they are supposed to beat, but every single time they face up against a team that's as strong as them or stronger, they have a really hard time on train. So I'm kind of, yeah, maybe putting a few seeds of doubt into the veto process here, but it's definitely a map that they like to play. Last game against Rapaleno from Sweden also ended going to the Swedes. That was also a best of 1, so maybe it's just hard playing Swedes on train if you're KInguin.
Wow. Oh, damage done on a Manise through the corner of that smoke by Disco Doppelin. KInguin yet to really get into this game in a big way. Now, there is that caveat that they're not playing with their own gear, all with the exception of Taz. I think he's the only man right now who did bring it all.
Yeah, and all of them are missing their team shirts as well.
Yeah.
All the luggage, it's gone, Harry. It's just disappeared.
I've heard that there are Montreal t-shirts you can buy in the hotel lobby.
Oh, yeah. Heard good stuff about those.
Yeah, fantastic fabric, great stuff. You can read all of Trace's review on that over at his blog, but back into this round now. Train's going left to right, but this is probably the best situation we've seen KInguin in quite some time. Brolin, only good for 1 as he tries to make his escape. Disco Doppelin out in the open, and now it's going to leave it in the 1v1. Freddie B, who's looked fantastic inside of that B-bomb site, locked in a duel versus Manise.
He knows he has the kit, and therefore he has the time to go for the big flank. Very nicely done. Nice little mind games there from Freddie B. Manise is on and up. He has to put his focus on one specific position at a time, and did last see his position towards that pop dog. Now he's forced to rotate away. Freddie B has the kit, and he has the Molotov. Let's see what he does with it.
Well, time's ticking down, and Molotov on Freddie B going to go out, but it does. Oh, I was going to say miss its mark, but that shot from Manise, yeah, there's no time left. It's drawn his attention away. Freddie B is going to find the kill, but not the round. KInguin will be securing their first here on their T side.
Very nicely done, finally getting on the scoreboard. It means a lot confidence-wise going further into the game, but one thing we have to keep in mind is that all 5 players died. Economy's not going to be great. Brawlan is finally getting fired up. He got a 3K in that round and pretty close to having time to rotate away and get the 4th kit as well and win the round. So a lot of things are still speaking in the favor of Red Reserve, but this is where KInguin could shut all of it up. If they take the round now, build some momentum, build some economy, They can definitely get back into the game very easily.
Yeah, either team, though, right now going to be balancing on a knife's edge. Money over on the side of KInguin is not looking great. Neither, though, for Red Reserve. You take a look there. There's Disco Doppler with a bit more cash. The rest of the guys are feeling what it's like to be in relative poverty. And now, KInguin setting up outside of this A-bomb site. Of course, they had success here in the round prior, and that's one of the only kind of glimmers of hope we've really seen them get away with. It looks like after a slower start here from Red Reserve, they're now going to try and challenge for Pop Dog, which is where, well, Taz has been playing over here in the past for KInguin. He is going to be there once again.
Such a hard position to play around, especially ST. You can do that double drop, you can do the fake flash, you can do the full flash. But it all comes down to the aim of the CT. If he hits his shot, even if he's blind or not, you're not going to win that duel, because you simply just can't hit the shot midair.
Well, 30 seconds left, and Reed's looking to try and be the man to open things up here from Ivy. The rest of the gang out from main. 2 players over here, and Pop Dog are smoked off, and they're going to have to push on through to try and pick off Taz. Disco Doppler able to land the shot from Connector. Right now, these players over in Pop Dog still unknown, but that one smoke going out does mean the penny has dropped. Now they're aware. They're going to line up, but Brolin, man to find the kill. Man advantage back in favor of Red Reserve. Time ticking down here for the Swedes. And this is such an important round to win. Both teams going to be reset if they are the one to lose it. That bomb ticking down, and Reet's going to manage himself one more. Freddie B answers back. Disco Doppler through that gap, and now it all falls onto Rarlan. In a 1v2, the bomb down for him. He's found that first frag, and Freddie B walking into his crosshair. It's an easy find, and there we go. KInguin will be moving on to their second round.
Rarlan with a flashy play once again, as the desk highlighted. Flashy player, and looking good for KInguin to kind of get back into the groove. Get some confidence going, especially winning 1v1s like that. But once again, like, the economy with only one player surviving is not very good. 1250 on Mauzinho, that's the biggest bank on the T side right now, even though they won 2 rounds in a row, because it's been so close. So Red Reserve, yes, they're on pistols, but let's imagine they hit a couple of Deagle headshots, and then we have a round where Red Reserve could reset KInguin, put them on the full eco. Disco Doppler finds the first one, and that's the danger of the Deagle, especially in Swedish players. We saw Lekro do it a lot over at the Major, and in general, all of these players, Disco Doppler especially, Brolin the same, are deadly with this pistol. Even though they don't even have head armor, they have no utility behind it. Just be careful.
Well, do we see the reign of terror for Deagle Doppler come to an end just yet? There are players out there. One of those being Rarlan. He's going to go walking the way and has opened up. Is he going to anticipate the second man holding close? He most certainly does. So there we go. This round, a lot of the danger element there starts to get removed. You're taking away a few of these upgraded pistols. Rusty's now the next point of contact. As well as only having that USP is the stand-in, let's not forget. So he's going to be left a bit high and dry there as he falls. Any hope of kind of scavenging something from this round now for Red Reserve does come crushing down around them. Freddie B just as CZ left in hand, and he's going to back away. KInguin will be finding a third here. And this might be one of the closest games we get today, because the other two pretty one-sided for the most part. Yeah. And I was worried this was going to get off in the same vein. But KInguin, is that kind of getting used to maybe the peripherals?
Yeah. Maybe they're just slowly but surely feeling it out.
Well, you know what I would love? Like the idea that maybe one of them sits down, is all complaining at first about like having to use a new mouse or whatever. And then it turns out like,
it's
why haven't I done this sooner? I'm a god.
Just adjusting sense every single round.
Yeah.
Finally finding the god sense. Which is kind of fitting, because most of these players used to play for Godsend. Hey, there we go. As we do have a pause coming in. Red Reserve. Our coach getting a few words in, talking to the players. How can we get back into this? We have the full buy now. We're going to have that AWP as well. Definitely need to get something going. And to be honest, I feel like they could potentially take advantage of the way that the rotations are played out by KInguin. after that post plant. There seems to be a small time gap when KInguin gets that bomb down to when all of them get into their post plant positions. So if they just play as a unit and when the retake happens, just move in really quickly, I think they might be able to catch KInguin on the wrong foot, but that's very deep into the round. So let's wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, something else to keep an eye on is we finally have this AWP out on a Disco Doppler, and he's going to be holding that down here towards Ivy, and he's someone that is so often talked about. We don't have too much time to break him down as Reitz beats us to it. That's the AWP immediately dropped from this round, and in response, Rusty's at least been able to find an equalizer down towards Pop Dog. Aggression still coming on in from KInguin, though. They're not easing off the throttle. There's Manice boosted up. Going to dispatch of the stand-in for Red Reserve. Brolin falls as well, and suddenly the trap's crumbling down around the Swedes once more. Freddie B, try as he might, tries to keep them in this, and he has managed a quick double. With how he's been playing, you feel like this is still possible here. It's Freddie B.
Doesn't have a kit, but if he gets a free opening, might as well go for it. Has some utility as well, so a lot of money basically on him right now. Oh, nice shot from Rallen. Individually stepping up to the plate there. As the rest of KInguin will get another round on the board. That was a full buy, the full buy for Red Reserve. And it didn't go their way. KInguin slowly but surely getting into the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is already kind of starting to reach the point now where, you imagine the likelihood is they pick the 5th round up here. That's already kind of, an okay half, I guess we could say. Like, the bare minimum, I think, that KInguin would have liked, but they've already done it. And there's still plenty more rounds left. Red Reserve, armed with just a few pistols here and there. You're really not fancying their chances too much. Rallen reinforced as well by Manice, I think that was. And he is going to get spotted and dropped. Manice is able to trade things out straight away. Oh, but now Taz has fallen. Now you get worried. There's weapons to be retrieved. Those are 2 rifles down that Red Reserve can look to get their hands on. And you can see as KInguin are having to recede back as they're having to keep an eye on these weapons, try and trade things out. Their map control starting to dwindle has allowed Freddie B to start to kind of try and work this B-bomb site a little bit more. Twist down through Ivy as well. Red Reserve doing a great job of aggressing. But now they've thrown that man advantage away.
Low HP on Reitz, but not enough to take him out. Still 2 kills on his conscience. And the bomb on the back as well. Mouse just holding down the positions, making sure that Red Reserve can't really push and go aggressive, get a lot of map control. It's basically up to Rusty in this situation to get something out of the round. Freddie B can't really move in unless Rusty does something or gets an opening or creates some space. It's going to be the plant outside. CZ coming down towards Pop Dog. Rusty with a Desert Eagle close range. Not going to get it as well. So now Freddie B, he's pretty much dead. And he will be. 5 rounds now for KInguin, which is very interesting because usually when they play Train, they have a stronger CT side than their T side. They win 58.9% of the rounds on that CT side, as most teams do on Train. So them being almost equal rounds with Red Reserve is it's a good start. Great start for them.
It most certainly is, Risk. I share your sentiment there, and you can immediately see those odds have come rushing back down to earth.
Manice with the boost for the upper position to see if someone falls in the trap. Not for now. Manice goes down to 14. This is also the buy round once again for Red Reserve. But as we mentioned so many times before, yes, they have all the utility, all the weapons, but they are invested everything into this. It's going to be another CZ Deagle round if they don't get this.
Still, we've seen some good nade work early on. That was thrown in by Brolin. Bringing down Reitz, and Manice was previously tagged up. There's Twist in with another frag on a Rallen. An advantage up for the Swedes, and KInguin, their options starting to diminish by the second almost. Start now to reconvene outside of this B-bomb site. Aren't any nades up, but there are still incendiaries for Red Reserve, so you have to be a little bit cautious if you are someone like Manice that you don't get caught out standing in one of them. They have him instead trying to sell this lurk. He's throwing out the incendiary over here towards this A-bomb. So I'm going to try and keep their attention there. That leaves Freddy B alone inside of B. But he has been absolutely fantastic at locking this down in the past. He's going to get tested once again. This time, it's his biggest test yet, and his players all around. Taz beheads him. Rusty answers back. Might just be the stand-in, but he's got to be stand-up, and he falls as well. So Disco Doppler in with the auto snipe. Now, what is he made of?
Mouse trying to challenge. See if he can find an angle. Twist here with the ult. Very nicely done by him. Taking down Rietz. And now, 2v3. Very low HP on both KInguin players, but the bomb is still ticking away. Another one taken out. And now it's all on minis. Not going to get it to go. And the bomb will be defused. Red Reserve getting on 7.
Yeah, they managed to hold on. That's like how would you describe these facial expressions, Risk? It's like a mute happiness, you know? Like they win the round, but they feel like it could have been better, but they're still happy anyway.
At this point, they're just happy to get some momentum going, I feel like. They need to win the secondary one as well in order to experience the true happiness area. I feel like that's why they're holding a little bit back. They want to make sure that they don't celebrate too early.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Freddy B, close range, max 7.
This is interesting. He's going to go blow for blow with Mouse. He just wins that out straight up. That's an AK as well, so he's going to take that all day long.
Yeah, and a smoke to block it off. That's a perfect start for them.
Yeah, you could not have asked for something more beneficial if your name is Freddy B. Now playing this a man down. They also lose utility as a result of Mouse falling. This is not going to be an easy task for KInguin to get back in to this game. Or this round, rather.
Timing on the smoke grenade. One block off 2 terrorists. Behind it, Twist just clearing it out. Oh, nice little spam check. Gets minis in it. Not exactly sure that Reeds is there as well, but she's trying to find an opening. Twist holding it down yet again, and he gets the secondary. Super well handled by Twist here. Taz and Rallen, they're now 2v5.
And what are they to do, Risk? They're going to go meandering in over here towards the A-bomb site, but there's players all around, and every footstep they take, every move they make, Red Reserve will be watching them. Now trying to get out of there. 24 seconds left. KInguin might just look to try and save here. Maybe they catch out Freddy B as he's testing the waters once again outside of this B-bomb site. But they're not going any further forward. This will be the round going the way of Red Reserve. 8-5, and potentially going to keep 5 players alive as well at a crucial juncture in the game. This sets them up nicely now to have a very, very good first half.
Red Reserve looking poised and ready. Got momentum on their side as well now. Economy strong enough to make sure they have buys for the rest of the half. And all in all, just looking fine. The Swedes here. That spam check was so nice from Twist. There was even a secondary player there as well, which he handles in this situation. Just very nicely done. Like finding a... After they already got the one-man advantage by the max 7 play, he finds a secondary advantage. So it's just perfect. And then they can just hold back and play defensive positions because they know even if all the terrorists hit up, group up and hit the same bomb site, there's still going to be a 3v3 scenario.
Well, for KInguin, it looks like it might be back to basics anyway, Risk. They've tried showing us something a little bit more complicated. Yeah. Now they're going to go back to the drawing board. Just a set piece, perhaps, in towards this B-bomb site. Rallen lining up smokes along with the rest of the gang right now.
Smokes and Molotovs for the back of the train. Freddy B, they don't have the Molotov for his position.
Here's the problem, right? You're going to be running into the auto sniper on Disco Doppler. That's pretty terrifying. He can do the damage, but Freddy B, he's been the anchor, the man that they just cannot get past, and that stands true time and time again. Freddy B, the gift that keeps on giving for Red Reserve, finally going to get dealt with by Manice, but promptly going to get cancelled out as Twist answers back with a frag on a Taz, and this round falls apart for KInguin once again. Red Reserve, they lose 1 man as they lock in that 9th round.
A really good setup in general for the T side to get the bomb down, but they they couldn't really get into post-plant positions because they were pressured back so much, and they had the auto-sniper, the CT side, to hold the long range. So they kind of completed 50% of the mission, but then fell short for the rest. And it's something in there we do see a lot of teams struggle with. Like, you can set up smokes, you can set up Molotovs and flashes to maybe win or trade 1-for-1 and get that bomb site control. But can you hold the retake? Can you gain enough map control to get to your post-plant positions before the CTs are ready for the retake? And they didn't there, KInguin. Now they're going to go force buy again, since, of course, this is the last round of the first half, but missing utility, missing the weaponry. 2 Galils, but Minis will start things off. Roland very aggressive into main. Not really sure what I think about that, but Twist, he's happy right now. Finds a double, the collateral, but Roland will put him to bed.
Here's Rusty, the stand-in, trying to do right by the rest of the squad. Taz finds him, not before being tagged down to 10 HP, and here we go, it's Freddy B. We spoke about him a lot. He has to finish the hard work that Twist put in. Bomb still yet to go down for KInguin. It's actually on the back of Roland, and that's a nice shot from Freddy B. We just cut to it, but...
Oh, and he's playing, once again, he's playing the mind games. He knows he's in a 1v1, and he has the kit, so even though if the bomb gets planted, it's not a problem. So he rotates away, tries to find a new position, constantly like keeping Taz guessing, okay, where can he be? What's the scenario? What's the play here? And for now, he's just happy with staying in CT spawn until that bomb gets planted. He's just holding the angle, making sure, okay, if he rotates in, I'm going to get a free frag. If not, he has no idea where I can come from. He has to check every single angle. 10 HP on Taz as well. This is very hard to win. Taz chooses the only correct position here.
Taz is a walking legend in CS. 10 HP to his name, though, and there was a time where you would have had 100% faith in him to clutch this out. Things have changed since then, but Taz certainly has not. He's able to roll back the years, and that will be the round going the way of KInguin. He holds his own despite being 10 HP and up against the often absolutely unreal Freddy B. He holds his own. There's that collateral as well from Twist. He's going to be feeling fantastic that he finds that. That was really the turning point of that round. If he falls straight away or even misses his shot, right, you have Rusty inside of the site, sure, but the whole round would have come crushing it down around them. It's going to be a 9-6 scoreline regardless. Heading into the second half, this is one of the most even match games I think we've had today.
Yeah, and definitely with a pistol win to KInguin could tie this game up 9-9 very easily. Gonna have to wait and see. I love the way that the Taz played that 1v1. So he's basically like, I'm 10 HP. I can't take an aim duel. I have to like play a position where I'm gambling on an opponent to walk in front of me and just give me a free kill. And what better position is there than the one he chose? There is none. That is the only position to play in that 1v1. And he chose correctly.
I think you could have played that a lot of different ways.
But with 10 HP, that's the question, right? Because a lot of the other positions you play in a 1v1 on train kind of still forces a 1v1.
Still, I always look at like 1v1s as just such an anomaly anyway. Like, is there really a right way to play one, right? Because it's like, it all comes down to how you think, are you in your opponent's head? Do you make the right choice? You might have had the perfect read, but you never know. Here's the pistol round regardless. And only boosting up now. Is he going to try and peek on over? Roland, the first to fall, and there's a quick double. That's the bomb dropped.
Oh,
Manise,
wow.
not even going to be discovered, just sitting here. And oh, that's awkward. Rusty's been able to get one back at the very least. This round's not all said and done just yet, especially not with Disco Doppelin inside of that bomb site, but he will get toppled, leaving Rusty 1v4. They know where he is. They have his name, number, address, contact information. I don't know. He's going to
Birthday.
fall. Yeah, what was the name of that whole thing? Where we had to re-sign a bunch of emails at GDPR, something like that.
Something EU law.
Yeah, that was the worst. But because of that, they had all of Rusty's information. That joke came in a little bit late, didn't it? I couldn't remember the name. I don't even know if you could. You just said it was EU law, but...
Yeah, I think you're right.
Perfect, that'll do.
GDPR or something. I think that's correct.
Everyone got like 400 emails in like 2 days. How I don't know the name.
Yeah, we have a specific word for that in Danish, so I don't really remember the
What's
English.
it called in Danish?
Persondatalovn. There we go. Learned something new today.
Yeah. In classic Danish fashion, it's very overly complicated, but it gets the job done like no other.
That is Denmark for you right there.
Regardless, here's the Here is this anti-eco from KInguin. A chance for these guys to equal things out early on.
Ready B on the pixel angle, trying to find the headshot. Getting it in the first round, but we'll keep trying. Ritz on the inside. How are Red Reserve going to play this? They only have one flash and one smoke, so kind of limited in utility. The bomb is still dropped T-spawn. They're basically spreading out on the map, hoping to find an opening somewhere with these Deagles. Haven't found anything yet. At some point, they'll just have to group up and do one smoke and then one flash and just run in, see if they can get the bomb down. Because the money right now is dreadful. If they lose this, they're definitely on an eco. If they get the bomb down, they can go for the force buy or wait around and go for the full buy. Let's wait and see. Freddy B already taken down, but opening onto Ivy. Good start. And now Taz to defend.
Yeah, he's going to try and hold his own. Freddy B and Disco Doppler up for themselves, up to the beast that is Taz. And everyone comes crumbling down. It's just Twist left alive, and there we go. Fantastic sequence from him as he holds his own.
Yeah, and now the full eco is going to be coming in, and the prophecy rings true. So it's going to be 9-9 after the pistol round win. And the game is going to be all tied up. So, as close as ever. This one, no investment. Not a single dollarino spent here for a Red Reserve. It's going to be the full Glock train. It's going to be inside. If they can get the bomb down, they're going to be very happy. Actually, the bomb is the one farthest behind, so it might be the fake. Let's wait and see.
I never like these. What always happens is everyone just dies, and then no one rotates anyway. But,
hey, might have the chance.
It might have worked.
Might have the chance.
For the first time.
Free bomb plant.
Oh. No way.
Free money, Harry.
Nah, it's not going to work.
Oh, he gets it.
He actually did it.
It's free real estate. There we go.
Man, the balls on Freddy B, you think would have made that man an easier target. But still, going to be another round going the way of KInguin. All tied up now, 9-9. But that bomb plant, as you said, risk is going to be worth its weight in gold. It's $800 extra.
Yeah. Might have the potential for T-side op now.
Yeah. There's a lot more that gets brought to the table on the back of it.
Exactly. Twist, no, well, a little bit of utility, but does have the T-side op. He wouldn't have been able to get armor and utility with it without that bomb, so that's an interesting little twist in the tail. Let's see if he can stand up to his name and deliver something to change things a bit here.
Well, we're going to try and boost him on over. Good position to see if anyone's aggressive over towards Main, or perhaps watching Ivy, but he won't see anyone just yet. This is going to be the real test. KInguin, and there's the perfect pop flash in. That's going to allow us to find the first onto to the Orpha. And he drops himself another. Taz. He really goes far to drop Brolin, and now suddenly it is just Disco Doppler and Freddy B left alive. This round almost instantly is crumbled around Red Reserve, and Disco Doppler wants to try and keep them in this, wants to try and get a leash back on the beast that is KInguin.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about early on. Like, the CT side of KInguin on this map is very strong. So if they just get 5, 6, potentially 7 rounds on their T side, they're going to have a big chance to just drive it home. 3 players surviving here, building some economy. Stronger than ever, KInguin. And they're slowly getting used to their gear as well. You kind of see them. Everyone is smiling. Happy faces all around. As I say that, of course, we focus on a glorious beard, but not a great smile. Not a lot of smiles on that face. Hopefully we're going to see that later, Harry.
Yeah, it's because most people, whenever they grow like a beard of that volume, their soul goes into the beard. That's a little known fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why whenever people shave, they get so sad.
There we go. Didn't know that. Don't really follow a lot of voodoo magic, so like...
Yeah, you know, I'm a big fan of it. What can I say?
Bee explosion.
Every night before I go to bed, I do a bit of voodoo.
Nice.
Do you do any of that, Risk?
I listen to Voodoo People by
that's
The Prodigy.
Song by The Prodigy.
Yeah.
You ever hear the Pendulum cover of that song? That's a good song as well. Here we go.
One of my favorite remixes.
Ooh. Wow.
Go listen
to that. I feel like our first date's going very well, Risk. You know, we're bonding over a lot of stuff. But let's see as they look now on the side of Red Reserve to blitz their way in towards this B-bomb. So me and Risk have done our bonding, but now Manise looks to try and show some bondage as he lays down the pain inside of this B-bomb site. Manise toppling on over from the top of the connector. Quick double. Moa's going to manage himself one more. Freddie B and Rusty left alive, and Freddie B's looked utterly fantastic while he's been the man of steel. It now falls to the man of rust. 1v3, and Manise lays down the gauntlet inside of this B-bomb site. KInguin, an 11th round.
4K for Manise. And once again, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, they get the bomb down, but there was no worry for KInguin in this round. They know how to handle a retake. Yes, if they get a lot of map control and have AKs, it's dangerous, but they know it's just CZs. And one player might get map control, but that doesn't really matter so much in the end. Nice shot from Manise, and they're just so solid on this CT side on train, and that's what I'm worried about for Red Reserve. Even with some quick plays like we see here, they don't really manage to get into the perfect post-plant positions. So I'm unsure of what they need to do right now, Red Reserve, because they tried quick plays, they tried slow plays. Maybe just go for the smoke wall outside and see if you can find good post-plant positions towards Pop Dog and main. See where that takes you. That might have to be the plan of attack. We're gonna see what's in store now. Twist once again on the AWP. Full buy. Everyone has exactly what they need. Full utility on the T side. They need to get this round. Or else KInguin might run away with it.
Yeah, the one thing they can take solace in at the very least over on the side of Red Reserve is being on the T side, things become a lot cheaper. When that loss bonus builds up, you're given a cushion of which to lay your head. And, well...
Nice and comfortable.
Exactly. Here's this pushing towards B about to come through once again. Reitz and Manise turn the tide. Rotation even comes through, and actually Red Reserve, they've applied the brakes. They've remained stationary.
Still have one player towards spawn and one player towards Pop Dog, so not exactly 100% sure where they're gonna go. Might just like make the strat work so KInguin starts doubting themselves and potentially keep over-rotating, so they're gonna catch them on the wrong foot when the attack actually comes. But this is actually gonna be the rotate back, potentially towards Pop Dog and main. They already have Freddie B out. He's gonna be taken out, and now it becomes really hard for them. What are they going to do now? They have to push out with so little time remaining. Good damage done by Taz, and now only 2 players alive, Harry.
Yeah, just Disco Doppler and Twist. Now, these would be the 2 you would want, but Manise is just picking them apart, as is Taz. And right now, KInguin a 12-9 scoreline. These guys are firing on all cylinders here in the second half. They're feeling good. Taz keeping his cool. And it is interesting to see. I mean, you kind of recall towards the end of his tenure with Invertus Pro, was really down in the dumps. I mean, the whole team was, right? And it's something now, I mean, these guys are still struggling, right? Even now, even with the changes they've made. But when Taz was the one to leave, it was really uncertain what would happen to him. But it seems like he's found a decent little home here within KInguin for the time being. He's looking fantastic right now.
He's very happy as well. Like, every single time I talk to him after that Virtus Pro switch, he seems much more happier in just his everyday life, because, of course, we talk to these players sometimes when we're not talking about them. And we were talking to Taz earlier, and he seemed very happy, even though that all his stuff was gone, and he was wearing a white T-shirt that he got somewhere.
Yeah, for someone who's had all their stuff stolen, he seemed,
he seemed very happy.
You know, pretty down to pretty down to have a nice chat.
Yeah, saved us from the spiders. Like, just all around good guy.
Yeah, that's true. But they do say nice guys finish last. Let's hope that isn't true for Taz and the KInguin boys right now. Certainly doesn't look to be the case, as they're up 12-9.
This is also a very important round for Red Reserve. You see the money once again. Yes, they have the loss bonus, but they're buying all the way down right now. It's going to be a force buy or a CZ buy if they lose this, and that's going to be with KInguin on 13. And then we move into really dangerous territory, because then it's just basically up to one of the players on KInguin to just step up just a round, and then they basically won the game. Here we go. Outside smokes. I was requesting this earlier. We're going to see exactly that. Let's see how they play around this, the CT side.
Yeah, we haven't really seen them challenged by a set piece in towards this A-bomb site, so it's going to be interesting to see what the response is. Brolin working his way down close to that smoke, trying to peek through and spot something. Just goes down. It's 5v5 in the retake, straight out of a retake server, and Rusty. Whoop, make that everyone starts to fall here for KInguin. Mao's going to try and do what he can. still has so much more to do, and Brolin makes that look easy. Reitz left in a 1v4, and that set piece for Red Reserve works just absolutely brilliantly. No one from KInguin able to get anything done.
And you could see, just like I pointed out last time, like they get the bomb down and they have time to move into their post-plant positions. They basically force the retake. And it works out, like everything's working out.
Oh, that really threw me out. Someone behind the guy on camera just waved. I thought he had like one really tiny hand. But not the case whatsoever. Tactical pause call on in from KInguin. They got a little bit of time to chat this one through.
Yeah, they have like this one and 2 other remaining with like a high amount of rounds already. So I feel like it's fair enough. You just lost a round. It's not the biggest loss of all time. Just take the time out to make absolutely sure that everyone's on the same page for the next round. You have timeouts to burn, really.
Yeah, I mean, that way certainly do. They're pretty far through this now. They've been looking fantastic. He just did the gun fingers. Yeah. That's a classic Trace Dunastaranthus move.
Yeah, there was also a guy with a really sick mustache as well, like 3 rows behind.
Oh, I didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah,
to this, but,
always pay attention, Harry, you know. This is just like school. Got to be ready when a nice mustache comes along. Rallen, also pretty good with the AWP. Doubles up. Can he go for the triple? No, the trade frag comes in from Freddy B. But already now big advantage for the CT side. 1 player and a lot of utility taken off Red Reserve. Plus map control taken away.
That's an awkward spot for being rather for Manice, but he's able to get away. Still that advantage very comfortably lies with KInguin right now. Red Reserve unable to really pressure anywhere on this map, and that's what they're a little bit disturbed by. They have to turn their attention back now, make sure KInguin haven't tried pushing down towards Ivy or exerted some pressure over here towards the halls outside of B. They're all going to head down towards the Ivy position. No one here from KInguin right now, so initially it's a good read. The couple of shots fired from Freddy B will give this up.
Yeah, I thought that was just the pre-fire to come around the corner. The CTs are playing very defensively, so they know there's an AWP down there. They don't want to challenge it straight away because there's probably an AK to refrag even if they get the first one. So it's just about positioning yourself for the eventual duel, and Rusty will take that frag onto Mouse, but Taz's flank here has the potential to be godlike, but Freddy B sees him through the edge of the smoke, and now I think this might be a safe 2v3 unless they get a free opening. This is going to be very hard for the T side.
Yeah, there should almost definitely be no way back into this for KInguin, at least in this round, an 11th for the Swedes. This game holds its promise of being our closest to date. Now just 1 round between these 2 teams down the stretch.
So it's going to be the force buy around these 2 weapons saved. KInguin going to find themselves spending all that cash. So that means if Red Reserve get this, now it's 11. If they get the next one, which is the force buy, it's going to be 12, and then it's going to be the eco for KInguin. So Red Reserve with some momentum here, potentially to take this into the last stretch. See how it all plays out. Pressure building in both camps.
Yeah, this is far closer than either one of these teams would have liked. You can see this partial investment over on the side of KInguin with the players that saved. They're
actually going to
on the likes of Taz.
Yeah, they're going to go for the eco choice here and go for the buy next round.
Putting a lot of faith on the back of Reitz and Manice. And Reitz already being tagged out, playing over the top of this smoke. Disco Doppler about to challenge him. Could get caught with a Molotov in hand. Reitz is given an opportunity there, but misses the shot, and that's now the man advantage gained here for Red Reserve. Mao's waiting in the back line, and the rest of the guys starting a rotation over here towards B. Red Reserve kind of start to take their foot off of the gas a little bit, slow things down. And now they have a comfortable man advantage. They have the firepower advantage. They've got so much utility as well. You compare that to the 1 flash over on KInguin. So the ball is very much in their court.
Twist with the AWP, but this time equipped with a C-Set. Still waiting for someone else to make the opening for him, and Disco Doppler would get it this time around. Manice still with the AWP, so Definitely a factor in this round, still to be seen. Taz just trying to find map control, trying to find something. With only 25 seconds to go, Red Reserve will have to push soon, and it's going to be the inner push. That's where Minis is. Let's see if he can make the impossible happen. Misses the first shot, and that's the round.
Yeah, he was given a real opportunity there as well, so he's going to be pretty devastated that that shot missed. That will be the round going the way of Red Reserve. The equalizer found. We're going to go 12-12, all tied up at the end of round 23. Or 24, rather.
Yeah, Mouse needs to go and die in this situation, I feel like. Just see if he can challenge, get something away from the terrorist side. It's a very high reward and almost non-existing risk, but now he has the AK-47. Now he can definitely save that, bring it into the next round. Taz will grab one as well, but both of them will be eliminated. But luckily, for KInguin, they have plenty of money to buy up now.
Yeah, buying will not be a problem. Plus, the little bit of damage they do at the end there stops Red Reserve from growing too much of an economy right now. That's kind of your biggest worry as KInguin, is that you let that T-side economy swell too much. When the loss bonus kicks in, they're going to be able to keep on buying anyway. So, and keep them modest at the very least.
Very defensive setup for the CT side, apart from the Ivy position. Everyone's just posted around the bomb site. Only a single player on the inner bomb site, which is Reeds this time around, and also missing some utility. And only one kid, so not the best of buys, really, for KInguin here at a 12-12 game in a round that could decide a lot going further into it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to see some aggression from them now that that utility has run out, and they're going to try and turn their attention over here towards main. They take a foothold there early and now back out. Don't have any Molotovs, don't have any smokes, nothing to deny any push from Red Reserve. There's that attempted aggression. They want to try and chance it, try and find a man advantage, but it just doesn't happen. Brolin instead is the man to open things up for Red Reserve. Man advantage going their way, healthy amount of utility, and through that smoke, Freddy B able to very much outstay his welcome and find Manice. Frags going left and right, but it's still Red Reserve in the lead right now. This bomb yet to go down, but it has crossed to behind E-Box, so it's going to go down at the back of the site. There's Brolin, and with another fantastic shot over the top of the smoke. Just Reet left alive, 1v3.
Yeah, with 18 HP, there's almost no chance of him surviving this. Especially not if they're going to at least put one or maybe two guys on the hunt for this one. So it's going to be very hard for him to do anything in these last dying seconds of the round. And Red Reserve, they'll go up 13 to the 12 of KInguin. KInguin, who will have no money after this. So a great chance for Red Reserve to get even closer to the magical 16. Because this one is going to be for free. It's going to be at max, maybe a Deagle, maybe some P250s, a few flashbangs. That's all. That's a full investment. A big chance for the Swedes now.
Yeah, I mean, a massive chance for the Swedes. The money's run out for KInguin. They've gone for a partial investment down to just about $2,000. Still, Red Reserve should be arriving at 14th, although Taz and Manice, they've just gone ahead and found two frags over here towards B. That's a rifle gained as well for Manice. He can maybe look to throw that onto Taz, who has the armor to go behind it.
Now it's actually a possible round. As you said, it's going to be thrown over. 4 C-sets and an AK against 3 Ts. This is definitely possible. Double stack towards Ivy. If they go that way, that's for sure going to be another kill. At least one kill. And then there's only 2 remaining. This is doable. With a low investment, KInguin are giving themselves the chance to bring this game back. Oh, let's see. Are they going to go out? 1 player leaves, 1 remains.
Yeah, this would be absolutely criminal if Red Reserve somehow get back into this round.
They're playing a very static T-side as well. They're waiting a lot of time, drawing down the clock down to the last couple of seconds before choosing where they want to go. And it looks like it's going to be the inside play. Oh, maybe. Yep. And then with the flank coming in the lurk position, the fake from Twist. 30 seconds to go. It's going to be B. It's going to be Menees. And I think Taz to defend with the AK-47.
Yeah, these were the two that opened this round up. These were the two that threw so much chaos the way our Red Reserve, and now they're going to be given a second chance to do even more damage. Menees certainly does it in spades. Taz going to come rotating in to try and help his teammate out. He's going to manage one before that trade comes through. There's only 5 seconds. The nades denied the bomb plant, and there's Reitz at the very end to shut down Twist. And that is fist bumps excitement all around over here for the side of KInguin. They managed to dig deep and find a round when really they had no business winning anything.
No, definitely not. This was, once again, to reiterate it, one guy with body armor, the rest just with pistols. CZ75 is strong, yes, but there's no way they should have been able to grab this round. Luckily for the T side of Red Reserve, they still have plenty of money in the bank, and even if they lose this, they're still going to be able to buy. But now, they've opened up the Pandora's box that is KInguin, that is Menees and Rallen on the double op setup, that is Taz in form. Man, I don't think you can close that again.
Well, let's wait and see. They're going to try it by charging in towards this B-bomb site.
Oh, that's
a nice shot from Twist. Bomb goes down. A different tune this time from Red Reserve. Change of pace, and that bomb already planted. That's not something we've seen them get too many times inside of this B-bomb site.
Insanely good post-plant position. You see, KInguin are already rotating away. They know when the smokes are landing this deep, the post-plant positions are perfect for Red Reserve. There's no reason to challenge it. Just go away. It's done. That round is over. Very pacifistic round. Only Menees dying.
Yeah, all it took was those few extra players to go pushing on up. It's not about the size of the force that's there. It's how deep they went. And ultimately, they were in the back line of KInguin.
Yeah.
And that's enough. I mean, yeah, it was that realization the second those aggressive smokes come in, like you say. But it's a good decision either way, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Holding onto these 4 weapons, as long as they get away with them. And
It's as I said before, like, the kind of like mid to late round rotation when you get that bomb down and you rotate to your post plants. If you can get into the post plants, the T side usually always wins, unless there's like a crazy clutch scenario going in. But if as a CT you can kind of get in just before they reach that, that's the like golden chance time. That's where you really can get a lot out of it. And KInguin, they had nothing nearby, so they're just forced to save. And now, thanks to the fact that their economy is very weak, it's going to be the saved weapons and then a UMP and a CZ. Full buy on the T side, of course. Plenty of money to spare as well, and they're up 14 to 13. So surely the 1.47 is a good choice here. Unless KInguin delivers something amazing, which we know they are capable of doing.
yeah, they almost certainly are. It's going to be an all-out B play here from Red Reserve. It worked for them flawlessly in that previous round this time. KInguin going to be able to do enough to hold them back. Menees is good for one, and a lot of damage onto Rusty as well. The trades have to come through. These entries have to be found. It's Reitz is the danger man, the one playing up close here to try and deter them from getting that bomb down. But Disco Doppler through the chaos, able to go ahead and extend that man advantage back in favor of Red Reserve. For KInguin, they make a gut-wrenching decision here. Do you go for the retake? Do you commit to it? Or do you try and hold on to these 3 weapons and just admit defeat? This wraparound as well through connector, that's going to be something that steals this. There's Twist coming in late. Rusty manages one more. It is just Taz. The old dog of KInguin left in a 1v2. And Twist on this flank is enough to find him. That's going to be the round going the way of Red Reserve. They will be reaching match point.
The problem now is that we've seen 2 rounds in a row, basically, where a great inner play with deep smokes when the post plant comes in actually wins them the round. KInguin, are they so scared of that play coming in again that they maybe stack 3 CT players towards B and then Red Reserve just go outside? That could be the case. For now, doesn't seem like it. They're back to the 4-1 split, with Reed's the only player on that B bomb side. So no overreaction, at least for KInguin to begin with. But Red Reserve, they can go anywhere. They can wait it out. They got plenty of time.
I mean, this is where I think if you're KInguin as well, it's very easy to start to get in your own head. You know, you can start to place the blame on your equipment not showing up and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of reasons why these guys can maybe start to opt out of this game a little bit early. Still, it's not over. till it's over. Rusty flashing in Brolin. There's pass to find the opener. Trade is there. It's the stand-in for Red Reserve to find it. 4 and 4, the bomb dropped. 55 seconds left on that clock, and Freddie B now looking to pincer on in from behind for KInguin. No one keeping an eye on Ivy, going to give Freddie B so much free reign here to do damage in the back. Rollins does seem aware of the idea that someone might be there, and even goes as far as to tag up Freddie B alongside that kill that he just found. How's he going to win that fight over Disco Doplin? So KInguin showing resistance, want to try and pull this one through to overtime. They've just got Rusty and Freddie B left to contend with. And then one more round.
Oh, big chance they've now spotted Rusty as well. Surely. It's going to be 14 on the board for KInguin. Yeah, they just keep peeking him. Very nicely done. The thing is, though, for the KInguin boys, or for the Red Reserve boys, they still have the economy to get the full buy going. So we have a full buy for both sides in round number 30 of this game.
Yeah, this is really a moment to test both of these teams' mettle. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a pause called on in.
Yeah, I actually heard the chat going, ooh, so there's no pause. I wonder what they were writing then. Interesting.
GG. And then KInguin are like, wait, no.
I don't think so.
No.
That would be very strange.
Well, one round is all that it takes for the Poles to secure themselves overtime here versus Red Reserve.
Yeah, I'm missing a bit of utility minis without anything. One single flash and mouse. While the T side, they have everything they want. Kind of wondering why Mouse is on 6. He has $600 extra in his account. Unless he just spent all the utility to begin with. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, there were a time for small cracks to kind of show in the team's money management. It would be now. But for KInguin, they found themselves the man advantage. This is the shot they need to pull this one through to overtime. It's Brolin, who was dealt with early on as well. What a man to find. He's been a key player here for Red Reserve in this matchup.
So as Freddie B still trying to find an opening. Flashes come down towards A, and the T-Zack getting set up. Rusty sneaking his way in now.
Just misses the timing, but now going to go back for more Manise. Dispatched of. That's that man advantage stripped away from KInguin now. Freddie B going to start to emerge from the Ivy position, and Rusty's holding close. He is going to get tagged down low, but Twist is there to bail him out. Mouse tries to do what he can, but it's all onto Rollin. 1v4. The nade rains in and does dispatch a Twist. That's about the best outcome he could have hoped for. So much still to do here for Rollin. 3 bodies to try and find. And while he's doing damage, while he's tagging them down, this bomb ticking away from him. They're all just playing with their food, and there's Disco Doplin to finish things off. And will be the game going the way of Red Reserve. They just managed to close it out here on Train, 16-14.
Incredibly close game between 2 very, very strong teams. KInguin, commiserations, but to be honest, I felt like despite the circumstances, they played a really good game.
Yeah, imagine if they had their stuff. I mean, yeah. I tell you what, I really hope that does show up so we can see these guys start to contend. I mean, if that's the game they can play when they're playing on, your old mate Steve's PC or whatever it is, imagine if they were on their own.
Yeah, hopefully we get that luggage sorted for tomorrow.
I'm trying all I can, Risk. What about you?
What?
Are you in contact with their airline at all? I'm already doing it.
I gave that up a long time ago.
Then
I gave that up in May.
Still, that was a fantastic game either way. We wanted a few more close ones today, and what a way to kind of end out our 3 games here. At least that was a 16-14. Let's not forget in favor of Red Reserve. We're going to give this one back over to Trace and the boys on the analyst desk.
Yes, we will be seeing you guys later on. Hopefully not too soon, though. Either way, let's talk about this game. This turned out to be a much closer affair than we would have thought, even giving some of the attributes of it going into it, and all of a sudden we're on the verge of overtime. What happened?
I mean, I think Red Reserve started at 5-0 or 6-0. At that point, it looked like, Taz and Co. might have just gotten steamrolled the whole half. And then right after that, they won a couple of close rounds, wound up winning, I think, 5 or 6 in a row, completely bringing it back. Kind of surprised that Red Reserve actually had it in them to bring it back in the second half from the way it was going towards the end of the first.
Because I feel like the first half should have won even more in favor of Red Reserve. Like, I feel like they made a couple of really key mistakes. Like, I think it was the last round of the half, like, Brolin just pushed T-Con by himself and just died, like, in a 5-on-5 situation. Just like what should have been like an 11-4 or 10-5 half turned to a 9-6 half. But like you said, Both teams got really good starts on their CT side. Both teams won the pistol and opening gun round from their CT side. That helped, of course, Red Reserve get back into, or KInguin, excuse me, get back into the game. But it was Red Reserve, once they got settled in on their T side, they were able to catch a couple of big resets against KInguin late in the game. Like, they reset them twice in like the last 5 rounds of the game, so that put KInguin in a really rough spot in the most crucial moment in the game when the game's close and there's not much time left to try to make things happen. Special shout out to Freddie B. Had a really good game here. He was having to be the in-game leader because Hampus isn't here. And throughout this year, Freddie B's actually really struggled to perform individually, but he did both today. Like, he led the team well enough to get them the victory and actually put up the best numbers for his team. So, you know, tip the hat to him.
A Polish-Swedish battle, one where, yes, Freddie B definitely displayed some of his might. We should have an interview here shortly, but until then, give me some of your thoughts on this matchup.
I mean, the surprising part to me is that Red Reserve actually went on a 7-2 run to close it all out. So KInguin had a fairly comfortable lead. They had all the money control, like Dustin said. They were on the CT side of train. I mean, everything was going their way. And basically the only thing they couldn't afford doing was not losing about 3 or 4 rounds in a row where their money actually is now in shambles. And that's unfortunately for them what happened. I mean, pretty good effort though, considering they didn't have their luggage, didn't have their gear. Still came within, you know, a couple of minor mistakes from closing out the game, but now they're going to have to battle through the lower bracket tomorrow. Yeah,
it's going to be a long, exhausting road of best of 3s tomorrow, but we do have an interview with Freddie B, who is standing by. Congratulations, sir, on your opening match.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, and I think we'll start with you, Dust. What questions, perhaps, should we throw his way out of this?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously you used to call for this team before Hampus joined, and he joined to be the in-game leader, but obviously was unable to be here due to illness, so you've had to kind of take the reins back. How much of it is stuff that you used to call in the past, or are you using stuff that Hampus designed, or how are you leading this team in this situation?
I'm using mostly stuff we have been using before, and we had one practice day yesterday with Rusty, so we just went through the basics, and I'm calling a bit mid-round on the fly. Like, they like to let Ali go, so we switched up and went Ali late round.
What were your realistic expectations coming into this event, considering, you know, you didn't have the full roster, couldn't practice like you said? What would actually be, you know, like an okay result that you'd be happy with, all things considered?
Getting out of groups for sure. I still think we can go far in the tournament. Of course, it's hard without Hampus here, our in-game leader, but I feel pretty confident anyways.
You play ENS next, correct?
Yeah, I think so. They won their game, right?
How do you feel about that game?
I don't know. We see what happens. I think we can win it. They've been looking really good lately, though. So yeah, we'll see.
Yes, indeed. We will see. Only time will tell. But for the time being, you guys have secured that opening win, which has to be a little bit of stress off your shoulders. I guess, is there anything that we don't know that perhaps you feel like sharing with us?
No, I don't know. We'll see what time tells.
It was a swing and a miss. I was hoping maybe you say, yeah, you know, breakfast was off the chain or any of that. Either way, go get some rest, man. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Wow. And just like that, what looked like it was going to be a more one-sided affair turned into a tit-for-tat battle there all the way to the end. Dust, give me some thoughts on this before we close it out.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess it was just good to see that despite the fact Red Reserve are coming a little bit handicapped without their full 5, that they were still able to show some of their individual skill. And hopefully this is them maybe trying to turn things around, because I know things have been a little bit harsh on them recently. Good earlier in the year. Later part of this year, it hasn't been as good. And now they have a tough situation to deal with. But that's a great opening effort from them to be able to take down KInguin, another team who's been kind of picking up the pace in the Tier 2 of Europe.
So here's what I'm thinking right now. And there was an album that came out not long ago. It's Travis Scott's Astro World. And in fact, I think it would sound a lot better on an Astro gaming headset. That's exactly right. Join the family. Make sure to check out the offerings from Astro Gaming and join the family via the link on the screen now. That's astrogame.com. Yeah. Anything you'd like to add to that?
That was almost as smooth as my assist on the snipe pitch.
Sometimes they just kind of happen naturally. Either way, go listen to Astro World while you're waiting, and while you're not doing that, be prepared for this next BO1. We've got another one coming your way, so make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.